Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's your girl, PJamma, and PJamma Life. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. So why don't I have my fellas introduce themselves? And then today, we're going to talk about episode 4 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The whole world's watching. And we're going to talk about our Best Actor nominations and who we think may win the award. So let's start off with Pat, our guru of all things comics and Marvel. Say hey to the people.
Hey, everybody.
And let's go to David, our guy, guru, professor of all things Star Wars, and supremo reenactment of our episodes. We're glad to see David back, nice and healthy for the people.
Amen.
Say hey to the people.
Aloha, everyone.
All
my
right.
second shot. I needed to take a few hours just to rest, but nothing serious. You might need a few extra hours of shut-eye. You might be a little cranky or tired, but make sure you get your vaccinations. I'm feeling all right at this point. Just
All
about
right.
24 hours. So
Hey.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
And then hopefully at some point, David and I can visit the Star Wars exhibit at Disneyland. Someday we're going to do it. And we'll tape it so you all can see us ooh and ah. But let's get started. So let's have David do his reenactment of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4. The whole world is watching.
And indeed, the whole world is watching. We start off with, hey, man, I'm not your partner. No, I understand you're not my partner, but I don't know. I still don't understand about the whole SHIELD thing. You guys are bad. Super soldiers really are terrible. We have to get rid of them. I've got some Turkish delights that's going to put us on the right track. We're hungry. We need food. We've been sick. Help us. Help us, please. I've got the Turkish delights. These don't talk to those people. They're bad. All right. They're off. They go to the funeral. We're saying goodbye to someone I love so much from this series and not another series. It's so sad. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Whoop. Little technical difficulty here. Hey, listen. I've been where you are. Come back. Don't hurt people. I don't know. Maybe I believe you. It's so sad. It's awful. I don't want to kill people. I don't want to hurt people. We just have to make things better. Come on, take my hand. It'll be all right. Hey, you're under arrest. We're getting you. You betrayed me. Oh, do. Then he goes, by your command. Ha! This is bad. The power broker is very upset because he needs a serum. I'm leaving.
No, you forgot the best scene before Baron Zemo leaves.
Oh, we gotta do that.
You must give us Baron Zemo or else.
That's right. I don't have the figures for it. Shame on me. But she's waiting.
No, I'm the figure. Give us Baron Zemo or else.
I'm going to leave. I'm going into the tunnels from the bathroom. It's like, hello, is this Louisiana? Yes, it's Louisiana. I think I want to kill your brother. My brother doesn't work for that man. Okay, well, tell him to meet me here, or you and everyone else sitting at the dock of the bay, they're going to be in trouble. Okay. Hey, I really need to take that super serum. Should I? Yes. Anyway, then Battlestar's down. He's down. He's already gone. Patrick Swayze from another line entirely. He did it. Ooh-doo-doo. And the whole world is watching. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Not the Captain America we know and love. A haunting, powerful aspect of this show. We'll get the scenes a little bit better next episode. I guess still the effects here, but nonetheless. Everybody, did you catch this? Can you see it? Did you see what it is? By your command. Because what's his name? Battlestar.
Battlestar.
Didn't have that action figure. So I had to go with this custom figure here of my son. And There you go. You didn't even need Disney Plus, baby. Here we
Yay!
go. Here's the show.
We're providing a service to the people out there. Well, what can I do to top that? So I guess we'll just limp along and show some clips of the episode.
Didn't go see more. 8 hours at work. When we come for him.
Something's not right about Walker. I know crazy when I see one, because I am crazy.
Can't argue with that. The Dora Milaje don't have jurisdiction here.
The Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves to be.
I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Do you think I'm making a mistake? Making more of us?
Today's heroes don't have the luxury of keeping their hands clean. What we're doing will outlive the legacy of that shield.
That shield is a reminder of all the people history just left out. If anything, that shield should be destroyed.
My world doesn't matter to America, so why should I care about its mascot?
I like you, Sarah. You remind me of me.
Oh, woo! Let's give it up for our executive producer who did the clips. Yay!
Good job. Good job.
Excellent job there. David, why don't you talk about what you think of the episode? And Pat, then we'll go into you and I'll give you my thoughts and maybe some Easter eggs.
Well, here again, I think it's only a 6-episode arc.
Yeah.
So we're at a critical point here in the story, where this was a dark episode, and this is what you kind of would expect at this moment, kind of as a story goes through. It speaks on so many levels. I mentioned before, to me, the plight of the veteran, and you see this again, the devastation of war, its impact and its effects on people. Great exchange with John Walker and Battlestar talking about how he got his Congressional Medals of Honor and the horrors of war and how those medals kind of masked over the pain and the intensity of the experience. Just an incredible episode. You see the humanity for just about everybody, and even a little bit here with Zemo, who is from the comics certainly a bad guy. From the movies, he's been a bad guy, but he has some sincerity. You wonder if he's BSing. He does, the supremacist. He's against that. The Superman, the super race. He sees that as something that is anti-human, and he is literally stomping it out when we see that. I think that's fantastic. Wonderful to see the warriors from Wakanda come back and to see this dominant force and how humbling they were. And a little to John Walker with the whole PTSD, and he realizes, just as Sam early in the first episode didn't think that he was worthy of the mantle for Captain of America, John Walker seeing they're not even super soldiers. They are incredibly well trained, tremendous soldiers, but they're not super soldiers. This is hurting him, so he's seeing and gonna fall victim to his own weaknesses here in the frailty with the serum. It looks like he's become one too. Powerful, great episode. I don't know where it's going to end, but certainly a very sobering thing to see this at the conclusion of the episode. American hegemony being shown throughout the world. Captain America, a symbol of good. This isn't good. Powerful moment.
Oh, Pat, what did you think?
Well, the character arc for John Walker is about what I expected.
Yeah.
You got to think about what the super soldier serum does.
Right.
if he truly recreated it, which we don't know that he did, but if he created it the way that it was originally created, it amplifies what you are. If you're a great person, it's going to make you even greater. If you're a horrible person, it'll make you really terrible. You think Red Skull, think Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to see after, spoilers for anybody watching this who haven't seen it, obviously John Walker took the serum towards the middle of the episode because he's bending iron, which is a very super soldier maneuver. Looking at that, you got to think that, okay, what did it amplify in him personality wise? And you kind of get that answered at the end, that his revenge factor, his I need to make justice out of something I can't really make justice out of. It came out very, very, very strongly and very bloodily. I was surprised for, Disney to be quite that graphic, as it were.
Yeah. Woo! And, super dark.
Yeah. And, okay, John Walker's a creature of the 21st century. He's got to understand people are cell phoning everything, man.
There you
go. And here he is, killing this dude with the shield, the symbol. And man, that's the most non-Captain America thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to say that the the antagonist, the Carly that was in the whole, the really bad person, she was a lot more sympathetic than John Walker. He kind of, was incelled, I'm just like, he was just terrible, just angry at his position in life, that he doesn't think he's getting everything that he was getting, and like Dwayne DeMarco says, what a PR headache. Yeah, totally. What a PR headache. I mean, imagine being the Department of Defense trying to spin this is like, oh yeah, he was about to do something terrible. So that's why he had to smash him 5 times in the head with the shield. So
right.
I don't know. It's just, it is a PR headache. This guy's not Steve Rogers.
No.
They didn't go through the same selection process. They went through this guy's got some medals, so obviously he's the best guy for it.
Right.
Don't think so.
No. Because remember in Captain America, when they were trying to select the person who would originally get it, remember there was a big kind of brutish guy who was the strongest, but he showed himself to be a coward too. And Captain America, Steve Rogers, the tiniest, most frail one, showed himself to have those heroic qualities and courage. And so this episode, I think, kind of illuminates that for the two. Now, you guys see it a little differently than me. So I'm going to look at it from as a woman and kind of to my take on John Walker too, because John Walker is the epitome of ego as well, right? He's a very kind of privileged guy. He's perfect looking. He's got all the medals, and he figures because I have this, everything should fall my way. But he also doesn't understand, and that's youth too, right? So when he's talking with Battlestar about, hey man, would you take the serum? And Battlestar's like, hell yeah. That's kind of a young man's response too. It's like, yeah, we could go in and kick ass and look what we could do. We would be the shit. But when Sam was asked that question, it was a different response because Sam has more wisdom about it, which is no, because Sam understands, one, all that comes with it, and two, the danger of being that symbol of Captain America, what it could do. So I thought that was a nice kind of juxtaposition of both age, but also kind of someone who's a little more uses his brain as opposed to his fist. Because remember, like in episode 2, Battlestar told him, hey, you can't punch your way out of every situation. Now you're Captain America. But he still has a punch mentality. Might makes right. So for him, I think that's kind of his philosophy, which is, you know, I'm the strongest, I'm the chosen one. I should, you know, do this. And I think that when he got his butt handed to him by the Dora Milaje, a bunch of women, that messed with him too. And Carly, you know, that messed with him because he then, even his conversation with Bucky indicated at the doorway, indicated his jealousy of, you know, those who had the serum and he didn't. And I think that when Zemo was smashing the serum, I think he was exactly right in what he was doing, because if it got into wrong hands, which it seemed to have done, then you have a person who's full of ego and power hungry, now given, you know, a biological weapon to carry it out. So I thought, and I was glad he got his ass handed to him when he put his hand on Ayo's shoulder, because that is a trick that some men do to try to intimidate a woman, is invade their body space and then put their hands on him. And so I was like, well, that's what you get. You know, put your hands on people. Right. But it was also too kind of America insisting that they know best, or that they know what's right. And then another country then saying, oh no, and then beating the crap out of it. So so I thought that was a really great scene, full of a lot of little tidbits, like when the Milaje took the shield, and there really wasn't anything he could do about it, and they could have taken the arm too, but I think they're both based on Wakandan technology, so I was like, well, I mean, so I just thought that was important. But now my take on Carly is, I don't like her even more now. How you gonna threaten some kids and another woman? Now you've entered into the realm of threatening kids, somebody's family. So now you've lost all kind of sympathy, at least for me, because how far is she willing to go? She's already killed 3 people. Right. She already has this mindset of, I'll destroy whoever I want to get what I want. You know, now she's talking about killing Sam's family. I'm like, girl, that serum either is highlighting that you, in fact, are not really as altruistic as you are. You're now concerned about power as well. And I don't like that she threatened kids. But I thought what was interesting to me and sad was it Dovich? I think that's the one. When he was talking to her, and he said, "Hey, I was a fan of Captain America, right. And I love what he stood for. And now, but we need new times call for new heroes." Right. And then for Captain America to be the one to kill him, sorry people if you haven't seen it, it was devastating. And I was just like, oh no, he was the only one who really still respected Captain America, the symbol of Captain America. He didn't think it worked, but he wasn't like, we need to destroy it. And Zemo couldn't have wished for a better outcome to really, because remember in the Civil War, he wasn't about fighting to destroy the Avengers. He was psychologically damaging them and trashing their name. So he was able to do that once again. And he didn't have to lift a finger. You know, he just let kind of nature take its course with the situation. So I thought that was pretty interesting. What do you guys think about some of the other parts of the episode? Was there anything that really stood out as something good or something bad? And how does this episode fit within the other 4 episodes?
For me, I think that you see when the compare and contrast, you see the nobility in Sam, his goodness, how he, and not everyone comes out of war with this, but it speaks to part of it is the good luck, but also it speaks to his amazing character. That by wanting to show love, to compassion, forgiveness,
right,
that is worthy of the mantle of Captain America.
Right.
He and Bucky both are American. So you've got, you just like, it's one nation, but it has many faces. And you're seeing those that are worthy of carrying on that, on the mantle with them. And I think that's a really a special aspect of this. You're seeing Anthony Mackie just owning this and doing a superb job as an actor, but bringing this hero into full focus for the audience.
And I like that you said that, because I think both him and Zemo are using their brains to get what they need. And they've both learned you can help in a war, or you might even be able to prevent a war with kindness and with love. He didn't have to go in. Zemo didn't have to go in and smash around to get information. All he had to do was give candy to somebody, give, a little kindness to a little girl. I mean, he slipped in his classic, they're bad guys, but
yeah, he lied.
Was show kindness, which is kind of an intelligence tactic too. You get more honey than with vinegar. What is that? You get more flies with honey than with vinegar. I think that is a part about war too, or conflicts, is should you go in with food and services, or should you go in with muscle and might? So yeah, I thought that was a good take on that. What I interrupted you, Pat. Where are you getting ready?
No, I would say again, I know that the Carly character is doing some terrible things, but you know what? You got to understand, and that's what Sam Wilson is doing. He's putting himself in her place, and that's how he relates to her. Because I think she really wants good things. She does want good things, but she's going about it through a terrible means to an end.
Right.
And, I don't agree with her methods, but you know what? Her overall mission seems to be pretty decent. She wants her people, these people that moved into places where people had disappeared from the Thanos snap. She's moved, her and all these people moved in, people reappeared. Now these people are being displaced, people that took over those jobs for 5 years and made these economies work and did everything. Now they're just getting kicked to the side because someone had ownership papers on this house from 5 years ago. They've been here for 5 years, but whatever. So she's doing what I would say is good work through a bad way. She's, her mission has gotten twisted, and I don't know if that the super soldier serum working in her, because she's had it. You look at these people, and maybe she had like a little bit of a means to an end justifies, the means. The ends justify the means. The ends justify the means with her, and maybe she was thinking that through, and maybe that really has become extenuated because of the super soldier serum. Yeah. But you saw that Sam was able to walk her off the ledge until Mr. Doofus comes in. I know I didn't give him 10 minutes, but I'm arresting her now. Well, no, you're really not going to arrest her.
But that's more of him. That ego popping up in him, I don't want to wait. I want to go. I want to beat her up. I want to use fists to solve this problem.
The ego comment is ironic considering his actual biological father played the character Ego in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know, right?
By the way,
good one, bad. And then I love that they, I just love the Dora Milaje because not only are they kick-ass battle, what's the right word? Battle warriors. They're beautiful too. They come to fight with full makeup. I was like, okay, you beat your face and you beat ass. I love it.
You ain't gonna break a sweat. Don't worry about it.
They really weren't.
Yeah, they were like, we had this. So that just told the whole story to me of that, I'm in agreement that they made a bargain that, with Zemo, if they ever found him, they needed to make him pay for his crime. And I think that's true. I think Zemo has a lot to answer for. And that Sam and Bucky still kind of don't want to really give him up. I'm kind of like, well, let him have him then. I mean, just say let him have him. Shoot, he's not, what is it going to mean for Bucky at the end? I mean, he's going to try to kill Bucky because he's going to be the last remaining super soldier.
Right.
So, so that is, oh, look, we got Electric Melanin is in the house. So we're glad that she's here. Hey, Electric Melanin. And but it was a episode just filled with, what do you guys think in terms of the rankings of the episodes so far? What do you think is your favorite episode and which one is kind of like, well,
the power of this one puts it up there. I would probably say as the second. I think the opener was my favorite because it reintroduced everything. And
right.
it told the audience, and I had to be brought back into it. It's like there were some real consequences in this universe for what Thanos did.
Right.
And everybody coming back, that had some serious implications to people.
Yeah.
Which I find fascinating that they've carried this on. You have something like that and everybody's back. Oh, good. Not so fast.
Right.
5 years, this period. So, but I would probably rank this one probably second. But man, they're all good. They're all good.
Yeah. How about you, Pat?
Well, last week's was, I think, not the one. The one where they were in Madripoor was super awesome. I love that one so much because first off, we had Agent Carter showing back up, kicking butt. She's going to be a big thing in the next couple episodes, I suspect.
Yeah.
And you also had Baron Zemo dancing. That was a damn tasty meal. Doing his thing, and I'm like, yeah. How cool is that? I mean, and you got to see him doing what he needed to do. He killed the guy who made the new serum.
Yeah, and destroyed the rest of it except for one.
Except for one, which went to doofus John Walker. He, and like I said, they're both products of different wars. Steve Rogers versus John Walker. Steve Rogers we had a clear enemy, we had a clear mission, we had clear morals. We didn't have this ambiguous stuff that came across after Vietnam and Korea and Afghanistan and Iraq, whereas John Walker's a product of these really ethically, gray areas. And so, of course, he's going to be a worse Captain America. How could he even be close?
Well, but you know what? I was talking to someone about this today because what was happening in World War II, remember, there was famine, there was people homeless. It was after the Depression. So there were people lots of people hungry, lots of people without shelter, lots of people, displaced and poor, and you had that all over the world. And so then in this one, you've got the same situations. So I don't know if you can just say that Captain America came about and it was strictly black and white, and John Walker came at a time where it was strictly gray, because I think there's still the same issues that you've got bad wars, and you've got people who are compromised because of their character.
Well, then Carly's the new Captain America then.
That's a
Well, I mean, really,
interesting thought.
She thinks of herself as that.
She's the new Captain America. She's fighting for the dispossessed, the undertrodden, the people that have been misplaced because of this and that. She's the new Captain America by that analogy.
Yep. I've made that same statement that you guys are, and I think I have even in this same show or when we talked about WandaVision, how there's such a difference in the right and the wrong of fighting the Nazis and fascism, the Axis powers. But in this time, in my own family, we said goodbye to one of our veterans in our family. He was a bombardier in World War II. And obviously, this was back home in Kentucky. I wasn't able to go, but talking with people and doing things, virtually with the folks getting together at the wake. I heard some stories about this gentleman that I had never heard before, and the experiences that he had, and his reactions when he got to come home. And we see it as black and white, and it is, but the evil of war, man, it's a horror that impacts you. So whether you're John Walker, Steve Rogers, Freebert, the bombardier, my family, my father who served in Vietnam, they affect everybody, and it affects them. And obviously it speaks, I think, as much as anything, even though there's some wars are clear that have to be done. Steve Rogers, the nobility of this man, who would have been like, he would have been like, just a bug on the windshield before the serum. It was his heart and character which made him who he was.
Right.
And the serum. So I say that is there's complexity in all this. Everyone who goes to war, whatever the cause, if they come back, they've lost. They're an amputee, not physically, but somewhere in there. Steve Rogers is the rare case. And most of those heroes that, so long story, not as fun, but there's something that happens to all of them, and even where the war is worthy.
Right.
And I never heard about this with this gentleman, and he had a really hard time coming home.
Yeah.
And so I just say it affects everybody in this has been a victim in that. The serum is just taking those characteristics and amplifying the good and the bad. Most of us, we all have some frailty. And it's showing what they what it is, but it's moving. This is so moving. And if you don't want to hug a vet, if you don't want to invest tax dollars on supporting vets and whether it's jobs or the VA hospitals or whatever, this is one of those things that can help, I think, lead you to support that cause more.
I agree, because I think that war is not natural, and killing somebody is not natural. It's not. And so for people to have to live through that and to do those kind of things, it's a stain on your psyche. Yeah. And so some people are able to get through it. But like you said, David, everybody becomes an amputee in one sense, in either psychically or physically, or definitely emotionally. And some people are better able to get through it, and some people aren't. And I think this kind of shows this too. And the PTSD that people aren't addressing in the world, around, the loss of people and then people coming back, has affected everyone's mindset too. So I just think this is just fantastic for delving into. And this is the darkest. I think this is, I don't know what you guys think, but I think this is the darkest episode of any Marvel product, any movie, any TV show. This is the darkest. You've never seen a hero murder somebody.
Right.
So
Blade.
no, did he murder the
He had to kill his mom.
She was a vampire gonna kill him. I mean, it was still a justification. It was
had
still
to kill his mom.
But I'm saying there was still a justification that she was a vampire gonna kill him. But with this one, he was just enraged and just
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a rage.
It was hand-to-hand death versus, the cinematic death, where you think about like some of the stuff, Civil War, or not Civil War, but like Winter Soldier. They had like big ass ships crashing down on Washington D.C. There were people in those ships. There were people in those buildings. I mean, there was a lot of people dead. It was just kind of cinematic.
This is one-on-one.
This is this guy smashing the guy's head with a shot.
It's murder. I mean, pure and simple murder.
He's murdered.
Watch that. Everybody got their cameras out and watch this
on your cell phone. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah. So
This is
but
darker than Howard the Duck, though.
Not Howard the Duck.
I mean, I have my PTSD from that, guys. I mean, come on.
Went to the vault on Howard the Duck.
He did.
Who made an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Right.
He did.
Right.
So, well, that was a lot to unpack in that episode. So I want to give us some time to still talk about the Oscars. And so this week, we are going to talk about the Best Actor nomination. So why don't we run through those? I'll talk a little bit about what each movie is about, and then we'll talk about the ones we've seen and which ones we think will be, who will get the award. So Riz Ahmed is the protagonist in The Sound of Metal, and he plays a drummer who's suddenly finding that he has lost his hearing, and he goes on a journey to discover who he is without his hearing. Okay. Next, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, the story of a day in the life of Ma Rainey, and Chadwick Boseman plays a young trumpet player who is he going through some stuff. This is based on August Wilson's play. Next, Anthony Hopkins in The Father, the story of a man suffering through dementia and what the disease takes its toll on him and his family. Next, we have Gary Oldman in Mank, which I finally watched for the third time. It's a story of Herman Mankiewicz and his quest to write the classic Orson Welles story, Citizen Kane. And Minari, starring Stephen Yeun, is a story of a Korean immigrant who moves from California to make his family fortune in a farm in Arkansas in the 1980s. So that is our list. And boy, once again, we got a lot of tough movies to watch this year. Gee whiz. But some fantastic performances. Now, Which ones did you? I saw them all, so I can tell you about all of them. But which ones were you all able to catch?
Well, I have to admit, I only caught 2 of them.
Okay.
I did catch Minari and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay.
And you know, for what it's worth, I suspect that Chadwick Boseman's kind of a shoe-in for several reasons. Anthony Hopkins has already had Best Actor. I'm not if I'm not mistaken, Gary Oldman's been up if he hasn't actually won for Best Actor. He should have won for The Professional because it was amazing. You know, Stephen Yeun was a subtle performance, you know, but it was very nuanced. But against some of the acting pyrotechnics that Chadwick Boseman and you know, there's going to be a sympathy vote. I hate to say this, but it's going to be he passed this year. They're going to want to give it to him. I suspect if I were to bet money, I'd bet on Chadwick Boseman.
Okay, David, have you a chance?
You know, I got, for full disclosure to the audience, I have not. I've seen a lot of the flicks with where was the Best Actress films, as it turned out. Riz Ahmed is an actor that's really, I think, just tremendous. If you're a sci-fi fan, you'll certainly know him from Rogue One, where he was just great. But he's had some wonderful performances. I'm very impressed with him as an actor. I love the fact that Stephen Yeun, again, on the sci-fi aspect of it with Walking Dead, he brought such a humanity to his character, and it's great to see him in this flick. I know a little bit more about that, and you know, there is something. You know, the Oscars are very political, in many respects. There's a lot to Chadwick Boseman's career that should be honored, and that this is a great time to do it. So if I want to watch all of those movies, but we'll see who it gets to. But for the potential that he had and for the great work that he done before, Chadwick Boseman's going to be an awfully tough fella to beat out there.
Yeah, and so I watched them all, and I tell you, I think that there are 2 or 3 performances that were just incredible, right? So Anthony Hopkins in The Father is amazing. And if you've ever had a chance to see him in some things, I think this is some of his best work. Like, truly, he embodies the character. You feel so much for him. It's the story is real interesting, so I don't want to give it away, but it is fascinating. It's fascinating, and he really makes you feel so much empathy and sadness for him as he struggles with his dementia. It just seems so real. Chadwick Boseman, now I'm a little conflicted about the performance. I enjoyed it, and I want him to win just because I want Chadwick Boseman to win. Okay, I just say it like that. But I think that Anthony Hopkins' performance was just so incredible that I hope it's a tie and both of them get it. But that's only happened, I think, once ever in a category. And so, but I'm not mad if Chadwick Boseman gets it. That movie, his character was a little problematic for me, but I understand why they would give it. You know, sometimes these awards are political too. So, and I think all the movies this year have a message that Hollywood is trying to get out. Gary Oldman in Mank, it took me, this is the third try to watch the movie today. But once I got through it, I get why Hollywood would want him to get it, because it's about old Hollywood. It's about the politics of a studio. It's about Hollywood intruding into the politics of America. And I think that that is something that's what they would want to see. Plus, it's beautifully shot in black and white. It's beautiful. And he does a great job. It's just slow as molasses. It's slow. Riz Ahmed is fantastic. And I think in any other year where you didn't have this, he's playing an addict who is in a punk band. I mean, it's kind of a punk band, I think, heavy metal punk band. And he's the drummer, and he's losing his hearing. And it's crazy. At the zenith of his career, they're about to go on a world tour. So his embodiment of this character is just packed with emotion, and he's a beautiful guy. He's got those big expressive eyes, and you can just see him, his confusion and terror and heartbreak, and he's just fantastic. Any other year he'd have been a shoe-in, but this year is packed with so many great performers. Stephen Young, I just thought that was kind of like, I could have thought of somebody else to be nominated. I just didn't think it was that strong, but I thought it was a good performance, but compared to those other 3 or 4, I was like, nah. But so who do I like? I usually do this on my Facebook page. Who do I like and who do I think will win? I like Anthony Hopkins, but I think Chadwick Boseman will win. And I'm happy if either one of them get it. I would be happy. But there's something to be said about the Stephen Young's character and them also wanting to speak to the Korean market, which is going gangbusters in movies and in music, and their scene right now is super hot. So we'll see. I think it'll be interesting. If you haven't seen these movies, you should definitely see them. I think most of the movies are nominated for Best Picture, and so you would definitely get to then see all the Best Picture nominees. But also, I think, as Dwayne said, they're also a little dark this year. I think the majority of the movies this year are dark. So, and that's probably indicative of the times, but it kind of makes for a hard viewing when you're trying to sit and view one movie after the other. You better come with some tissues. Yeah. But they're beautiful, impactful movies that make you have all the feels. As the kids say, you're gonna feel something with these movies. So if you're not feeling something, I don't know. I don't know. So any other words? What do you guys think? Which one's gonna win? Which one's out for you?
Well, my homework is to watch these.
Yeah,
I do think, but I think Chadwick Boseman is gonna win.
Yeah,
Boseman's gonna win.
I think so.
I wouldn't count out, but I wouldn't count out Gary Oldman because he's been racking up some awards too. So we'll see. But April 23rd, we'll get to know for sure. So next week, is the 5th episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we're getting into the 3rd act, as it was. So it ought to be jam-packed with action and adventure till the end. So, and I'm sure it'll be a big cliffhanger next week. So get ready for that. And then we'll talk about the let's see, we have best actor, best actress. Let's look at the screenplays and look at original screenplay and adapted screenplay. Most of the movies that we talked about have fit into either of those categories. And so we'll talk about which ones will come out. And then the following week is the end. So we'll talk about best picture and best director in the following week. So if any of you have a particular category you want us to cover, then tell us in the comment section, and definitely subscribe to my channel, PJamma Life, on YouTube, and join us next week. And take care. What are we saying? Still, people, wear your mask. Still social distance. Still wash your hands, and definitely get a vaccine so we can all be together again. So we will see you next week, same time, same channel.
Love it.
Okay, sure.
See you next week. Take care.
See
And
you guys.
everybody today. Take care. Bye.